Talk about Ben.
Presented by Bland Insurance Group. Big on savings, big on service, big on community. If it's sports in the Lake Martin area, we cover it. The Lake Martin Sports Roundup, right now.
Good Tuesday evening out there to everybody, and welcome into the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show. Brett Pritchard and Sky Hardy here at JR Sports Bar and Grill. Going to be a lot of kids eating off the youth menu tonight. Scott, with all the Little League football players that we have in here, and we've been pulling those teams in over the last few weeks, and still going to be having those teams come up over the next few weeks. And a lot of excitement. This is the busiest time of year for all of us on all of our shows with youth league sports, the stuff that's going on in high school sports, college football, coming down the home stretch with Auburn and Alabama. Just so much to talk about. And we got a great group of kids here tonight, and then we got a group, the cross-country team from the high school. They'll be here tonight. We've got Coach Chris Herron from Central Clay County, who'll be here a little bit later on to talk about his team as they head into the playoffs. So why don't we just start and talk about Benjamin Russell first as they open up the first round of the playoffs here at home against Stanhope Elmore. We'll be out there at the Sportsplex to call that game right here on 97.5 Kowaliga Country. Yes, it is a rematch game, and ever since Benjamin Russell beat Stanhope 28-7, they have not lost. They've gotten better as the season has progressed. So you know that Stanhope's going to be coming in Friday night, Scott, looking to spoil our shot at a state championship.
Yeah, Stanhope comes in as the number 3 region representative for Region 2, and again, as you said, Benjamin Russell took care of business 28-7 earlier in the season, and I really do think that is something that will happen again this Friday, although, as you said, Stanhope has done a tremendous job of improving their football team, but I think Benjamin Russell got the bye at a perfect time for them. They had a couple of injuries at some key positions that needed to get healed up, and just the aggressiveness that Benjamin Russell's played with, I think they could use this break anyway. So I look forward to Benjamin Russell coming out and continuing the winning success and formula that they've had all season.
You know, we looked ahead at the beginning of the year, and we saw that the new design of the schedule has 11 weeks to play 10 games, that Benjamin Russell had left that last week open as an off week as we head into playoffs. Of course, everybody's goal is to make the playoffs first and foremost. The second goal is to win your region. The third goal is to win a state championship. The Wildcats finished second in the region, but definitely make the playoffs with a 9-1 record. But at that point in time, you look ahead and you go, we hope that off week means something, and we hope that we've got it heading into the playoffs, because at that time you don't know, and then moving in and playing 6A football, you know the competition is going to be extremely tough. But Benjamin Russell sitting in 9-1, only lost to Opelika, who's one of the top teams in the state, 7A through 1A. I put us up there in the power rankings you've seen as high as 3 in the state for Benjamin Russell. So, and I definitely agree with that. I think this team has gotten better each and every week as well. Tyree Gray at quarterback has gotten stronger and stronger as the weeks have gone on. And, you know, every team from NFL all the way down to Little League, if you got a quarterback that is calm and collected and can run the offense, you got to like your chances at any level. So I'm excited about Benjamin Russell's chances with Tyree at quarterback, Q Johnson at receiver, Pac-Man, and the host of tailbacks that we got back there, Chase Burton, Nicole B. Maxwell, who stepped up, and then and everybody else on that offensive side. And then, of course, defense has won. I mean, probably been the integral cog that's been consistent all year. The offense has gotten better, but that defense, Scott's been tops all year long.
Yeah, and I think they're coming together at the perfect time. Both sides of the ball playing extremely well. As you said, defensively, I think that Benjamin Russell has played pretty well all year. There's been a couple of games where there were moments within where you got a little nervous about things, but for the most part, Benjamin Russell has continued the success they've had on defense as they've had the last 2 seasons. But again, that you're looking at, this is the first year in the last 3 years that Benjamin Russell hasn't won their region. So they finished number 1 and they've been put out. So maybe now having a different seeding, now having number 2. But as you said, I don't really see anybody. I saw a Power 20 today, and Benjamin Russell was number 10 in that one, I think. But they dropped down a little bit because they didn't play. But looking at Benjamin Russell, I think that if Tyree Gray can continue to make the dynamic plays that he has been and get people involved like a Q Johnson, as you said, who has just had a tremendous second half of the football season, I think they have an opportunity to do something. Now, just for granted. You don't want to take this game for granted, but if they are able to win this football game, there's a game coming up next week that people around this community, I think in both communities, have been looking forward to for the last 3 years.
Yeah, and I know Coach Horn, all those coaches don't even want to hear us talk about that at this point. Want to focus on Stanhope, but kind of hard not to look ahead from our standpoint to see who we would play, and it looks like it'd be Spanish Fort on the road. And if we take care of business against Stanhope, then we'll be afforded the opportunity to go and travel and play. And, you know, we don't say revenge. We talk about one team from one year to the next is a totally different team. And this team, a lot of these guys weren't even on that team when we went to Spanish Fort the first time, but they definitely remember how close it was and Spanish Fort pulling that out and eventually going on to win a state championship. So, with that being said, we'll take it one game at a time and hope we get a chance to get down there to play Spanish Fort. Another pretty good matchup setting up that night as well will be over in Opelika when Opelika and Saraland look to probably get together. So, but we'll continue to talk about that. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, the youth league sports in this city have grown tremendously over the last 3 years. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, the whole deal. And we're excited about where we are and what Sonny Wilson, the Howard City Parks and Rec staff has done with that group. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We come back, we'll have the flag football Redskins on. We've had a lot of these teams on here, Scott, over the last few weeks, but we'll have the Redskins up here. Coach Delantis Young will be up here to talk with you. And then we'll introduce each and every one of these young men and let them tell everybody out there watching us who they are and what they like about football. So we'll have the Benjamin Russell High School cross country team on following that, and then Coach Chris Herron from Central of Clay to talk about his team as they head into the playoffs as well. Another team that we cover closely here in the Lake Martin area. Stay tuned, everyone. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR's right after this.
This summer, the world. All right, you're on. Playground. You ready to come back?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup show. Live here on location at JR Sports Bar and Grill in beautiful downtown Alexander City. I'm your host, Scott Hardy, and we want to say thank you to JR's as well as the rest of our sponsors for making sure that this thing can go on each and every week. And right now we want to welcome in some special guests, Coach Atlantis Young of the Flag Football Redskins. Coach Young, thanks for joining the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, and I'll start with what I've asked every coach that's come up here that's been affiliated with the flag football team is, you know, at this age, it really is just about the fundamentals. But when you're implementing, I guess, the game plan for each week, how are the kids receiving the fundamentals that you're trying to instill in them?
Well, 5 and 6 years old, it's hard to keep their attention span, but they respond pretty good. You know, just like when me and you growing up, X's and Y's and O's, they tend to see an airplane, they look up, but you know, you got to put something out there for them to grab hold to.
Yeah, and two, at this level, when you're implementing the fundamentals, how important is it to have this, I guess, bridge to the next gap of football? Because this wasn't available, as you said, when we were younger. This wasn't something that was offered in the Parks and Rec. So to have this as a bridge to the next level of football before contact occurs, I think has to be a big advantage for the people that take place in it.
It sure is, because when they're young like this, never playing football before, then you send them straight to contact. You can deter a young man from even want to play, you know. But flag football, that's good to have, because if they learn to catch, they learn the fundamentals of taking a snap, even throwing a pass or two. But right now, I'm glad they have flag football instead of just straight. When I was a little boy, going from playing in the backyard to straight contact.
That's right.
So, and
well, you know, one of the things that you and I were talking about off there is that, you know, starting them this young, and in any sport, we've seen that the opportunity for them is, you know, you want to win. Obviously, you want to get out there, competitors want to win, but it's getting them used to and getting them acquainted with the sport, learning some fundamentals. So when you do put pads on, Coach, that they have some kind of idea of what they're doing instead of just running around, not knowing what's going on.
Exactly. They won't be lost. You know, they got the concept of down, said hut. You
know what it is.
Yeah. And they let up when the whistle blows.
There you go.
You know, so.
Well, Coach, we're glad you got your team here. And, look, it takes a lot of good parents behind the coach, obviously. And we got Caleb over here, and he's going to send them over one at a time. And we'll go ahead and get the first young man over here. And we're going to let him introduce himself. What's your name, young man?
Atlantis.
Right. What position do you play?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. All right. So what's your favorite thing about football?
I like playing it. I like to play football because it's the best thing to do.
There you go. That's a good job. Well, I appreciate it, buddy. Go this way right here, okay? Walk this way. All right, got another young man right here. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric, what's your position?
Quarterback.
You play quarterback too. All right, so what do you like about football?
Running the ball.
Running the ball. All right. Give me 5. Thank you, buddy.
Self-aware man.
Yeah.
Who we got here? What's your name?
Carson.
All right, Carson, what position do you play?
Running back.
Running back. You got a glove on. You hold the ball hard. You keep it in here tucked in there tight. Coach tell you how to do that? What's your favorite thing about football? Running the ball? Okay, good job. Thank you, buddy. Got a big smile over here. What's your name?
Cordell.
Come on to me just a little bit. Tell everybody again.
Cordell Weaver.
All right. What's your position?
I snapped the ball.
You snap the ball. That's the center. All right. So what is your favorite thing about football? Don't know what your favorite thing is? What, like to run, catch, throw, snap it?
He like to pull the flag.
All right. Good job, my man.
Snap it.
Good job. Everybody's got to have a snapper now. That's a big job. All right, young man, what's your name?
Color Hope.
All right. What position do you play?
I'm center.
All right. So tell me what you like about football.
The touchdown.
The touchdown. I like that too. Give me 5. What's your name, young man?
Isaiah Mesa.
All right, Isaiah. What's your position?
Wide quarterbacker.
All right. That's a pretty cool position right there. Tell me what you like about football.
I like catching balls.
I like catching them. I do too. Give me 5. Good job, buddy. Who we got here?
That's my safety.
Cody.
Cody, what position you play?
Safety.
I heard coach just say safety.
Safety.
All right. What do you like about football?
Snatching flag.
Snatching the flag. You like to play defense, don't you?
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you, buddy. Who we got here?
Baylor.
All right. What position do you play?
That's what we see.
What is it?
Wide receiver. All right. So what's your favorite thing about football?
I just like playing my sport.
You just like playing your sport. I hear you, buddy. Good
Good
job.
job, baby.
Head this way for me.
Hell, you with the wrong
Last
way.
one. All right. Last one. What's your name?
Jamaica Ellis.
All right, Michael. What position do you play?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. So your favorite thing about football is
Wide receiver.
wide receiver. There you go. Give me 5. Good job, guys. That's your 5. You got one more? No, that's it. That's the 5 and 6-year-old Redskins. Coach Young. Like I said, you get thumbs up. Teaching them at such a young age what the sport is. And look, let me just say this, because I help in the 9 and 10-year-old league, and my son plays in that age group, and you know it's everyday dads after their job go out there, spend time with these kids, get them ready to get on the field on Friday night. That makes this 9-1 Benjamin Russell team that we're going to be pulling for on Friday night. So it starts here, and I know you remember your days playing, and so I want to tip my hat to you guys, everybody that helps out with this team, and you know I know Caleb. I mean everybody that's a part of this, that takes time out of their day to spend time with all these kids and help them understand the sport and help them love the sport.
Yes, sir. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to commend the parents, because the parents, they play a big part for getting the kids there on time and even taking time out to come see them play. You know, I would like to give the parents a handstand.
There you go. Absolutely.
The
Big hand
parents
for
are
the parents. Good
The
job.
parents are the major reason that they even come out.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of parents, you know, some kids get left behind, but
Well,
we got a good group in Alexander City, and I'm sure they behind us.
you got a
100%.
good community and proud to live right here
Yes,
in
sir.
Allen City. Coach, thanks so much for having them up here. We're going to get you to stay right here when we go to break. We're going to get all of them up here. We're going to get a picture, and we're going to
Yes,
put it
sir.
out there on Facebook.
Sir.
Coach, thanks so much for being on the program.
Yes, sir. So appreciate y'all for having us.
Absolutely. So we'll go ahead and take another break. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show live here on location at JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for joining the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show, live here on location each and every Tuesday at JR Sports Bar and Grill in beautiful downtown Alexander City. 256-234-6221 is the number to dial in, and they will take your order, and you can come in here as well and join the festive scene that we have in here tonight, and we'll welcome some more special guests to the show. We have captain of the cross-country team from Benjamin Russell, Dylan Dean. Dylan, thanks to you and the rest of the team for joining us.
Well, thank y'all.
I wanted to get, I guess, how you guys have been doing this season. I think state just finished, or are you getting ready for
We're
state?
getting ready for state this Saturday.
All right. Well, can you talk about how the season's going a little bit?
Well, it's been really great. Everybody's been putting in work, going to the track, running miles. Then every Saturday, or almost every Saturday, we do a race, usually the Auburn area. We've been doing great. Everybody's been running their best and putting in the best work they possibly can.
When you say putting in work, what is a typical practice or a training session, I guess? I'm sure a lot of it has to be done on your own, but what do you guys do to prepare for these meets on each Saturday?
Just 3 times a week. We'll go to the track twice a week and do track work and speed work. And then usually Mondays and Wednesdays we'll go out and do about 3 to 6 miles a day and really get endurance and speed in.
Well, you've been, as long as I've known about the cross-country team, you've been a part of it, and I've seen it grow each year. In terms of growth, have you guys grown more so from last year?
Oh, yes, sir. We've definitely grown, and we've got a lot of younger faces this year compared to last year. We've lost 2 seniors this year due to some illnesses, but this young group's been doing great and working very well.
Well, I know we're going to get them in a second, but as a spokesperson of the team, I wanted to ask you, I guess, the last meet that you guys did, I guess, leading up to this right now, how did you guys do in that? And I know we're going to talk about it, but just overall, how did you guys do?
I believe everybody ran their best race and PR'd, which is a personal record, and well, other than me, but everybody else ran great. Gabby, she qualified for state, and so did Bradley, with great runs and placing top 10 or top 15 at sectionals.
Absolutely. Well, Brett, we'll go ahead and introduce.
Yeah, I'm gonna do is just hand the mic off and let them pass it down and tell who they are and what they do as part of the team and what year they are at Benjamin Russell.
I'm Bradley Stewart, and this is my 3rd year running cross country. And like last year, went to state and we didn't have this big of a team, but now we're here and just getting better by a year.
Good deal.
My name's Gabby Watson, and I'm in the 8th grade. This is my 2nd year running, and I'm going to state.
I'm Sarah Baker, and this is my 1st year running, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Blair Dunn. This is my 2nd year running, and I'm not going to state.
I'm Connor Adair. This is my 1st year, and I'm a freshman at BRHS.
I'm Luke Doggett. I'm in 7th grade, and this is my 1st year running.
My name is Sarah Scott. This is my 1st year running, and I'm in the 9th grade. I was 32 seconds away from going to state.
Hey, my name's Andrew, and I'm a freshman at Benjamin Russell High School, and this is my
That's pretty neat. And so, Dylan, I wanted to ask, what does a person have to do to qualify to go to state?
Well, each year it varies, Usually it's on times. Like this year, you had to run. It isn't like a set time. It's just whoever's in top 15 or top 10 are the ones that are going to state. So you just really have to run your best race at sectionals to make it to state.
Yeah, you know, one of the things, Dylan, I like about this team and your coach, Michelle Tuggle, and everybody that helps out, again, just like in Little League, the parents are a big part of supporting you guys and doing. I like the diversity of having more sports now at Benjamin Russell. Everybody having an opportunity to do something. We get caught up talking about football and baseball, basketball, softball, but we don't nearly give enough credit to all the other sports that are out there. So we commend you guys. We're pulling for you. And glad all of you came up here tonight, and we hope to have you guys up here again very soon. And Scott, Dylan, thank y'all again for coming up here. And I know this is a big part of you. I see you running all through town all the time. You never get tired, Energizer Bunny.
Absolutely. Before we go for break, just let everybody know where state will be and when they can come watch you guys participate.
State will be in Moulton, Alabama. It's about an hour above Birmingham. It'll be this Saturday. The boys run at 9:45 and the girls run at 8:30 for 6A.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a great season so far, and good luck this week at state. We'll go ahead and take another break. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show live here in location at JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
All right, you're off.
For many years.
Three, two, one, take it away.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here in a packed house. JR Sports Bar and Grill, a busy night here on Tuesday night, as it always is. Glad to have the groups that we have that come up here each and every week to kind of highlight what we do in the Lake Martin area. We don't just stay here in Alex City. We cover so many teams in this area, and we call all of them ours because we're proud that, we live in a part of the state that has such good athletics and so many good schools. And, we've talked a lot about Benjamin Russell. Of course, Davil right down the road. You got Coosa Central, Horseshoe Bend, a real town in the playoffs, a lot of things going on in this area, and, of course, Central Clay. We always talk about them, Scott, and a big part of high school football here in the state of Alabama. And Central Clay and Benjamin Russell played each other earlier this year, and, that game, I hope, evolves into a game on a regular basis because of the proximity of the schools and just, being a recruiter at Central Alabama Community College. I get to see all of these kids, and I feel like they're all mine when they come over to Central Alabama, and it's so much fun talking to them about, the different times that they had in high school and the different rivalries, and you were an ambassador, and you got friends from Central Clay, and you got friends from Reeltown, you got friends from Tallahassee, and all these, and you kind of just merge all that together over at Central Alabama. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. Then I get to watch everybody kind of spar at each other when it's their two teams playing one another. But we've got a great guest coming up here in a little bit, Coach Heron from Central Clay. He even brought his lovely wife, who I deal with mostly. Don't get to see him very much, but as the recruiter at Central Alabama, I get to talk her ears off a lot of times. But I can't say enough about what she does, too, for the kids up there at Central Clay, helping them move on to the next level, get scholarships, and move on to college. But football talk tonight, Scott, we talked about Benjamin Russell in the 6A bracket and their chances, and don't like rematches, don't like revenge games. And Stanhope Elmore is a team that is going to come in here that would love to upset Benjamin Russell. Ben Russell sitting at 9-1. Stanhope has gone on a tear and won 4 in a row since Benjamin Russell beat them a few weeks ago. They've gotten better. It's a whole new ball game. Everybody's record 0-0 now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I wanted to start with first as we get ready to break down some of these playoff brackets. It's a new season now. We see it every season where a team upsets somebody and it throws a kink in everything and forces some teams to maybe travel that weren't going to have to. And so just let it play out, just like the playoff in college. And I think that fans are going to be excited. The first year that it's been 7 classifications, they'll be in Jordan Hare this year. So a lot of historic things happening in particular for this football season.
Talk about Central Clay. They are the number 2 seed in Region 3. Tallahassee wins that region. Got Beauregard and Sylacauga in that region. And Coach Heron will be up here in the next segment to talk about it. But they have a tough game to open up. And, they're all tough. And I know he'll say that when he gets up here. And most coaches understand that, when you get in the playoffs, it doesn't matter what the record is anymore. I remember a Benjamin Russell team just a few years ago that was 500. Basically heading into the playoffs, and then
year, 6-4. Yeah,
they're 6-4, 6-4, and then made a run, went all the way to the semifinals in high school football. So you can just forget it. Some teams peak later on, in the season, and you want to be playing your best football right now. Of course, you want to win every game and you want to do things, but as the season goes along, you want to be getting better as you head into the playoffs. And Central Clay has done that, and we follow them. Of course, their games are broadcast right here on Charter Channel 3 here in the Lake Martin area as well. It gives me an opportunity every week to watch them because I have just as much care and want to see their games as I do anybody else's. All the teams that get rebroadcast right here on Charter Channel 3 because we're at Benjamin Russell, and we're calling those games every Friday night. So during the week on the rebroadcast, I get a chance to listen to Tommy Wood and watch the Volunteers play on Charter Channel 3. Of course, Dale's rebroadcast on that station as well. So we get to see the teams from around our area because we are always at the Benjamin Russell games. And Scott, we went up to Central Clay this year. Beautiful facility, beautiful new school. Randy brought up this point when we went to Spanish Fort a few years ago. It's kind of unique how the design of the stadium is very similar to Spanish Fort's. That's who it reminded us of in the atmosphere and everybody kind of right down on the field, and just a great place to play high school football.
Yeah, and you're naming all these different places that are within our listening area, and it's such a football-rich area, both with with Reeltown, Davil, Benjamin Russell. You have Central Clay, Tallahassee. So all of these teams in our area have great football teams for the community to support. And as you said, the Central Clay has been such a mainstay in these brackets for quite some time, and I don't think that'll be changing anytime soon.
I don't either. And again, high school football, we'll slide over and talk a little bit more about some of the teams in our area, and then of course Coach Heron will come up and be on the show with us here in just a little bit. Then he'll go over to Sports Blitz Live on the statewide part and be on with us there to talk some high school football in the first segment of that show because we are high school heavy. We have a lot of people in the state of Alabama that watch that show, Scott, to get the inside track on high school football. And we kind of tout ourselves as the high school people here in the state. We give a lot of coverage to that with our affiliation with the HSA. Let's talk about Davil. Davil gets into the playoffs, and it's been a roller coaster year for the Davil Tigers, to say the least. They came in with so many high expectations. Defeat Leeds a few weeks ago. They're the number 1 team in 4A. But then it literally, I know that's a cliche statement that we use in sports a lot of times, but this season really has been a season of ups and downs. You know, really high one week, down low the next. They found a way to fight their way in the playoffs. They got a tremendous amount of talent. This is a team that should scare everybody if they see them on their bracket, and they have the talent to win it all. And if they click and they get things going, they can win it all. So again, forget what happened in the regular season. They've played great defense all year. They've struggled at times with offense, but as Coach White would tell you, and the rest of that coaching staff, we made it into the playoffs. Now we can focus on winning a state championship.
Yeah, and as you said, this is a team so loaded with talent, and I think everybody was expecting them to be a team, and they still are a team that could compete for a championship in 4A. You look at, as you said, it's been a feast or famine year for Dayville with wins against Reeltown, Tallis, and Leeds, but then they lose to some subpar teams that you really wouldn't have expected them to. So the main thing, too, is they played extremely well at home. Away from Dayville, they haven't played as well. They did get a big victory Friday, and that was one of their first road games in quite some time. But I think that if Dayville has games at home, the games that are at home for Dayville are going to be easier for them to play against. But again, I look to that second round matchup against UMS Wright. If they're able to defeat Trinity in this first round, Dayville will take on more than likely a team in UMS Wright who has put them out of the playoffs three straight years, and I know that Dayville would love nothing more than to repay them. And you made a great point on Saturday, speaking on the irony of how Dayville has come in 9-1, 10-0 all these different times, had the number one seed, and get put out immediately by UMS Wright. And now you look at it struggling, but for Dayville standards, not the type of season that they're used to, and then they have the opportunity to take on UMS
You know,
Wright.
Kevin Kill, the radio guy for Dayville, we've had him on this show. Hopefully have him on Sports Blitz Live on the next hour. I mean, he'd tell you, you know, this season didn't play out like they thought it would. I mean, but that happens. That's football. And the most important thing, if you're a Dayville Tiger fan, is you're in the playoffs. You know, you've had some big wins this year. You knocked off the number one team in the state in Leeds. So what that should send a message to you is that we can beat anybody on any given night. All right, because they hadn't lost the Leeds hadn't lost another game, and they went on at the beginning of the year and played Madison Academy on ESPN and was able to win that game by a field goal. So, you know, a quality win right there for Dayville. So that's what they've got to do. They've got to take the good things that they've done, go back and look at it and say, if we can play a solid football game like we did on those particular nights, then we can beat anybody in Class 4A. So the Dayville Tigers Central Clay, Benjamin Russell, Reeltown, everybody in this area that's in the playoffs, we're going to be covering them heavily. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll have Coach Chris Herron up here with us to talk about his volunteer team, talk about the season, talk about where they are as they head into this first game against Eufaula. That's a team that we've seen already, that we went to Eufaula and played. So I'd like to get his thoughts on what's going on as we close out this show. Stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show presented by JR's right after this.
All right, you're out.
Wings in town, and look no further than JR Sports Bar and Grill in Elliott City. Order my favorite, the Wing Basket, or try an awesome burger, quesadilla, crab balls, or dig into a healthy and delicious salad. JR's offers daily lunch specials that save you money without sacrificing on taste. Check out their Facebook page for daily lunch specials. JR's can also cater any special event from weddings to tailgate parties and has a huge party room for any special occasion. Stop by soon at JR Sports Bar and Grill at their location right off Highway 22 in Elliott City.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
Halloween is not the scariest thing in fall. Your football team blowing the big game isn't that bad. If you want terror this season, just let your boat not get winterized. Alex City Marine and Alex City Marine South can save you that unwanted terror by winterizing all makes, models, and types of boats to ensure you don't have the bad luck of the Irish in March. Alex City Marine specializes in all inboards and outboards for the cold weather and now offers custom shrink wraps to protect everything for the winter and preserve your peace of mind. Don't let old man winter get to your boat. Go to the place the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alex City or Alex City Marine South just before or after the Kowaliga Bridge in Eclectic.
It's not surprising that Russell Medical Center has outpatient services, but what might surprise you is that we So remember, for the finest in outpatient services, our doors are always open. Russell Medical Center, conveniently located in Alexander City.
Hello, I'm Russell.
1 minute.
And I'm the big box store. Say, what you doing? I'm checking inventory in all of our apartments. Well, you're Russell. I thought you only sold lumber to contract. No. We have lots of home improvement items like nails, nuts and bolts, plumbing, electrical supplies, and experts to give advice to. Okay. Paints, and lawn and garden, windows, doors, and cabinets, all at our low price guarantee. Okay, I get it. I guess I was selling you a little short. Me? Short? Really?
9 locations serving Lake Martin and
You got
Central
about 30
Alabama.
seconds.
Ford is the undisputed king of trucks in the United
30
States,
seconds.
leading the competition in the dust for 37 years in a row as America's top-selling truck, bar none. Come by Tallapoosa Ford and see for yourself the ride, the best-made, toughest, and most dependable truck. The Built Ford Tough event is going on right now with rebates up to 47.
Hey, the drama's not around the number 1 team; it's around the 4 team.
Now's the time, and Tallapoosa Ford is the place. 51 Highway 280, Alexander City, Alabama, across from Home Depot, or shop from home at www.tallapoosaford.com.
We won't be PCU.
3, 2, 1, take it away.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Brett Pritchard now up here with Coach Chris Herron from Central Clay. And, Coach, thanks so much for being up here tonight. And I had to drag you out here to eat some of this good food.
Oh yeah, this was nice. Appreciate being invited and opportunity to eat some good chicken fingers and proud to be here.
Well, Coach, another good season for you guys up there. And as you and I sit here and anxiously look at the newly released playoffs as Mississippi State's 1, Florida State 2, Auburn 3, and Oregon 4. And it's like you said, a lot of anxiousness every week this comes out, but that one really doesn't matter. It's the one at the very end that matters. So it's going to be exciting. I just have to ask you, do you like the new system in college football?
It's getting there. I think it's getting there. I'm glad high school, we play our way in, and I like that. You know, we don't have to depend on somebody else to put us in there. You control it yourself, but I think college is it's getting there. I think it won't be long. It'll be more than 4 teams.
Yeah, I think you're right. It'll be probably up to 8 before we can before we know it, and maybe even further than that. I know there's some people up there that would like for it to stay at 4, but you're going to have some drama at the end of this year no matter what, because there's going to be more than 4 good teams left. Coach, let's talk about you guys, the season, and the important thing, like you just said, is you get to control your own destiny. I know you preach that to your players, and a great program here that you guys have merged, and the Lineville and the Clay County rivalry, and now all those communities together as one. And it's really been a unique story here in the state of Alabama.
Well, it has been, and it was when it happened, it came together 3 years ago, and it was there was some nervousness and a lot of apprehension in places, but the leadership that we had, Gary Reynolds, our superintendent, Coach Steve Giddens named our head coach, the first year. And then Mr. Bobby Vinson, our principal, those guys in those positions, the leadership they provided, and then everybody else, jumping on board. And because, regardless of which side you came from, you were used to football-wise, you were used to winning. I mean, the kids from either school were used to being a part of a winning program and knew how to win and knew how to work hard. And so that came together well, and the goals stayed the same. The facilities changed, and there's more of us in one place, but it's still football, and everybody still wants to win, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, the objective definitely didn't change, and that rivalry for so long was such a headliner, and it was kind of like everybody attributed it to the Hatfields and McCoys coming together, or Auburn and Alabama merging, or whatever. It really wasn't that way. I mean, I get a chance, like I said, working at Central Alabama to visit you guys quite frequently, and beautiful new school, beautiful new facilities, and I know you guys are blessed and appreciative of what you have.
Oh yeah, very, very so. It's just compared to what we had. There's no comparison. It's everything's like you say, new and nice, and everything's bigger, and there's air conditioning in the locker room, and even in the weight rooms, air conditioning. And that type.
I'm sure
of thing.
You might not be real happy about that.
But we kind of keep it in there, but maybe not quite as low as they'd like to stay in the weight room. But, it's a super facility, and we're very proud of it.
Facilities are huge. And, one thing that before we start talking about the season, that I notice about the kids up there is when I go up there, the respect and the admiration they have for a new facility and for new things in a new school. And, I travel all over the state and I'll be honest, some schools just, the kids aren't as appreciative as being able, but I've noticed that every time I go up there that it's clean and, it starts with the kids. The kids have respect for what you guys have provided for them, and that goes a long way.
Oh, yeah, and I think that, too, that goes back to their parents and the way they're raised to, respect things and respect nice things and respect, people that you're not, we tell our team you don't always have to be the best friends with somebody, but you respect each other and you respect.
Absolutely.
We're all there at least 7-8 hours a day together. So there has to be some respect for each other and for where we are. We spend so much time there.
Absolutely. Spend more time there probably than we do with our own family. So it's kind of our other second family. Coach, you guys had a good year, and I know you want to win every ball game, but that just didn't happen that way. But you guys end up being the second seed in your region. And talk about your region, Tallahassee. They have a tremendous running back down at Tallahassee, and Brandon Baines, who is fighting to break their school record for single season yards. And then, of course, Beauregard and Sylacauga, a tough region in 5A.
Yeah, it was. And again, it was, we were kind of, we'd been 4A the first 2 years we were there, and then move up to 5A this year. So everything to us was on our schedule other than Montford the very first game and Hanley the very last game. Our other 8 opponents were all brand new people. So there was no point of reference with any of those people. You knew some of the coaches and kind of the reputation of some of the schools and that type of thing. But it was all, kind of going into it a little bit blind. You had to get film to study and that type of thing. And, when the regions came out, we knew then, just from the traditions that some of those schools have, that, it was going to be a tough region and a grinder region, that type of thing. And we were very fortunate to, finished with Tallahassee and Beauregard at 5-1, finish at the top of the region and get into the tiebreakers that were involved. And once that tie was broken, we were fortunate enough to be second and to get this first round game at home. But a very, very tough region for us. We felt like our first year in 5A.
I know you guys coaches don't like to look past, so we're not even going to talk about possible second, third round. I know you don't even care about that. But your first round, we do know who you played in first round.
Absolutely.
So, you guys are focused on Eufaula, and Eufaula has been in 5A for quite some time. I had an opportunity to see them up close and personal when Benjamin Russell played them earlier in the year. And, Benjamin Russell handled them pretty easily. But let me tell you this, Coach, I got off, got there at the stadium and saw Eufaula warming up, and they are extremely talented looking. They have a lot of great looking athletes, and, they're a team that has always had a tradition and history of being a good football program. So I know you guys are expecting a fight out of them when they come up here.
Oh, absolutely. And again, that's, one of those teams being in our first year in 5A, it's not a team that we know, really anything about at all. And I had called actually down to Coach Horn because I knew that they had played this year and the last couple of years had been in the same region with them. So, that's a resource that I felt like we had, I had an advantage to talking to him to pick his brain a little, like I do a lot of times on a lot of things because of our relationship. And, he told me, he said, don't think just because they're 5-5, don't think they're not a heck of a football team.
I can hear him saying that right now. Exactly.
You know how he is, but it is. You look at their record, and it is 5-5. But then you look at them on film and their personnel, and a very talented football team and a program that knows how to win and what it takes to win. So it does. We're looking forward to it, getting to play at home, and we'll line up Friday night and hopefully see how it goes. Hopefully things will go our way.
Well, and again. All you care about is you made it in at this point, and you had to do a lot of good things to get to this point. And talk about real quick before we close out on this show and head over to Sports Blitz. What are some of the things that you really thought stood out to you about this team this year that you're proud of?
Well, I think that, we started the year. We started out the first half of our schedule. We had some teams in there. We had Montford, a non-region game, who made the playoffs in 4A. Week 2 we had Ben Russell come up, which was a special game for our school and a special game for me personally. But against standing across the sideline from Coach Horn, and that was a game that he and I talked a lot about. And I wanted our guys to play one of his teams because I know how they are. And and that helped us. We lost the game, but that you try to take some of those games and learn from them when you lose. And played Leeds at the time, was ranked number 1 in 4A. They're in the 4A playoffs. So played Tallahassee there early on, and the Baines kid ran about 280 yards on us. And so after halfway through the year, we're sitting there at 2-3, and not feeling too good about ourselves, kind of hanging our head, and had our off week right in the middle, right after 5 games, and
came at a good time.
Came at a very good time for us. We were physically, we were beat up some, and mentally kind of spent, and tired, and so we took that time to kind of regroup and work on ourselves, and go into the second half of the season in 4 region games in a row, and just tried to take those one at a time, almost like mini playoff games.
Sure.
Battling for position to try to put ourselves in the best position possible, and probably the thing that we're most proud of is we won those last 5 in a row, put ourselves in a position to for our best finish possible in the and finished tied for the lead and got second on the tiebreaker, and just the perseverance that our guys showed and working week after week after week to finish up on a positive note going into the playoffs, playing some pretty good football, we think, and feeling pretty good about how we've played to this point.
Well, and just like I said just a little bit ago, that it's not about how you start the season; it's how you're playing toward the end and going into the playoffs. And obviously, with that off week and then winning those 5 in a row, you guys are playing your best football right now, and I know you're proud for that. And our coach, we're looking so forward to following you guys in the playoffs. Excited that that you guys are going to be home for the first round, and good luck to you. And we're going to head over to Blitz now and talk on the statewide program about high school football in general. But my last thing I got to ask you before you get off, are you going to pay for the Phillips boys food here, JR?
I don't know if I got enough cash or not. Wait, them two eat.
I don't know if it's all you need wings up here tonight.
They're a lot bigger than they used to be in high school. Them jokers put it away now. But we appreciate what you guys do here for football, high school football, in this area and in the state of Alabama, and the job that you guys do promoting the sport, not just the the local schools, but just high school football in general. And I know y'all put a lot of time in, and we appreciate that very much.
Well, Coach, we appreciate y'all, and you guys are what make it fun for us. So that's going to wrap it up here on the Leigh Martin Sports Roundup Show. You need to stay tuned right here, 97.5 Kowaliga Country, and, of course, turn it over to your Charter Channel 80 statewide to catch Sports Blitz live. And then also over in the Auburn-Opelika area, you can turn your dial over to 95.9 FM as that show will be broadcast over there. So for my broadcast partner, Scott Hardy, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you on Sports Blitz in just a minute.
Wow.